What if looking rich is actually keeping you broke? Real wealth doesn't look expensive. It grows quietly.
Stop trying to look rich. Start building wealth. Because the best flex is financial freedom.
POV, you chose wealth over looking rich. Imagine this. You're 28 years old. You get your paycheck, and for the first time in a long time, you have some extra money left over. You could buy the newest iPhone. You could upgrade your car. You could move into a more expensive apartment. You could start wearing designer clothes. And honestly, people would notice. Your friends might say, "Bro, you're doing well." Your coworkers might look at you differently. Your Instagram would look better. But instead, you do something nobody notices. You put the money into your savings and investments. No new car. No expensive watch. No luxury apartment. No showing off. Just money quietly working in the background. And at first, it feels like you're losing. Because everyone around you seems to be moving ahead. But then something changes. Years later, you realize something most people never do. Looking rich and becoming wealthy are two completely different games. And the moment you choose wealth over looking rich, your entire financial life starts to change. Chapter 1: The Trap of Looking Rich. We live in a world where wealth is constantly displayed. You see luxury cars on Instagram, designer clothes on TikTok, expensive restaurants, dream vacations, huge houses, new phones, and it creates a dangerous illusion. You start believing that rich people are the people who own expensive things. But that's not necessarily wealth. A person driving a $90,000 car might have $2,000 in their bank account. Another person driving a 10-year-old car might have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested. Which person is actually wealthier? You can't tell by looking. Because wealth is often invisible. The biggest mistake people make is spending money to create the appearance of financial success. They buy things that make them look rich, instead of buying assets that can make them wealthy. And there's a reason this happens. We don't just buy products. We buy status. We buy approval. We buy the feeling that we finally made it. But here's the problem. Status is expensive. And the more you spend trying to impress people, the less money you have to build your actual financial future. Chapter 2: The Moment You Stop Caring. There is a powerful moment in your financial journey. It's when you stop asking, "What will people think?" and start asking, "Does this actually make my life better?" That's when everything changes. Maybe you can afford a $700 monthly car payment. But instead you keep your current car. Not because you can't afford the new one, but because you understand opportunity cost. That $700 isn't just $700. Invested consistently over many years, it could become a significant amount of money. And that's the difference between someone who wants to look wealthy and someone who wants to become wealthy. The wealthy mindset says, "I don't need to prove anything today." Because you're thinking about the person you want to become 5, 10, or 20 years from now. You're willing to look ordinary today, so your future can become extraordinary. Chapter 3: The $10,000 Decision. Let's say you suddenly receive an extra $10,000. Most people immediately start thinking about what they can buy. New car, vacation, phone, clothes, furniture, maybe even a luxury watch. But imagine taking a different approach. You invest that $10,000. You don't post about it. Nobody congratulates you. Nobody sees it. There is no dopamine from showing it off. But the money starts working. And then you keep adding to it. A year passes. Then another. Then another. Eventually, that decision becomes part of a much larger financial foundation. That's the secret. Wealth is often built through boring decisions that nobody sees. You don't need to look successful. You need to make successful decisions. Chapter 4: Lifestyle Inflation. Here's where things get dangerous. You get a raise. Maybe your income increases from $50,000 to $70,000. You feel successful, so your lifestyle increases too. Better apartment. Better car. More restaurants. More subscriptions. More shopping. More vacations. And suddenly, you make $20,000 more per year. But somehow you don't feel richer. Why? Because your lifestyle expanded at the same speed as your income. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it can quietly destroy wealth building. The alternative is simple. When your income increases, don't automatically increase your lifestyle. Increase your investments first. Maybe your salary goes up by $20,000. Instead of spending all $20,000, you use part of it to improve your lifestyle and invest the rest. Now you're getting the best of both worlds. You're enjoying your life, while your future is getting stronger. Chapter 5: The Power of Looking Average. Here's something strange about wealth. Sometimes, looking average is actually a financial superpower. Imagine two people. Person A earns $100,000 per year. They drive a luxury SUV. They live in an expensive apartment. They eat at expensive restaurants every weekend. They constantly upgrade their technology. Their lifestyle costs $95,000 per year. Person B also earns $100,000. But they drive a reliable used car. They live below their means. They cook more often. They avoid unnecessary upgrades. Their lifestyle costs $60,000 per year. Who has more financial freedom? Person B. Because they have something more valuable than expensive possessions. They have a gap between income and expenses. And that gap is where wealth is built. The bigger the gap, the more money you can save, invest, and protect. Chapter 6: Wealth Gives You Options. This is the part people don't talk about enough. Wealth isn't just about having a big number in your investment account. It's about options. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you don't have to stay in a toxic job. You don't have to accept every opportunity. You don't have to panic when your car breaks down. You don't have to put an emergency expense on a credit card. You don't have to stay trapped because you have no savings. Money gives you choices. And choices create freedom. That's why building wealth matters. Not because you need a Lamborghini. Not because you need a mansion. Not because you need to impress strangers. But because you want control over your own life. Chapter 7: The Delayed Reward. The hardest part of choosing wealth over looking rich is that the reward is delayed. If you buy a new phone, you get instant excitement. If you buy a luxury car, you get instant excitement. If you book an expensive vacation, you get instant excitement. But investing, it's boring. You transfer money into an account. Nothing exciting happens. You wait. You invest again. You wait again. And eventually, the results start becoming visible. That's why patience is such a powerful financial advantage. You have to be willing to sacrifice a little excitement today for significantly more freedom tomorrow. And this doesn't mean you should never spend money. That's not the point. Money is meant to improve your life. The goal isn't to become obsessed with saving every dollar. The goal is to stop spending money purely for validation. Spend on things you genuinely value. Cut the things you don't. And invest the difference. Chapter 8: The Quiet Flex. Eventually, something interesting happens. You stop wanting to look rich. Because you realize you don't need anyone to know. Your biggest flex becomes having no high-interest debt. Having an emergency fund. Having investments growing in the background. Being able to handle unexpected expenses. Having control over your time. Being able to say no to things that don't serve you. That's real wealth. It's quiet. It's not always visible. And sometimes, nobody even knows you're building it. But that's okay. Because you're not building wealth for them. You're building it for yourself. Chapter 9: The Future You. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. You look back at your 28-year-old self. You remember the car you didn't buy. The expensive apartment you avoided. The unnecessary purchases you skipped. The vacations you didn't take. The times you chose investing instead of showing off. At the time, those decisions might have felt boring. Maybe even painful. But now, you see the result. Your investments have grown. Your financial stress is lower. Your options are bigger. Your confidence is stronger. And you realize something powerful. You weren't missing out. You were building something. While everyone else was focused on looking successful, you were focused on becoming financially secure. Final chapter, choose your future. So here's the question. Would you rather look rich today? Or actually become wealthy tomorrow? Because you probably can't maximize both at the same time. Every dollar you spend for status is a dollar that can't be invested. Every unnecessary payment you commit to reduces your future flexibility. Every time you choose temporary validation over long-term progress, you're making a trade. And the good news, you can change the trade today. You don't need to become extremely frugal. You don't need to stop enjoying life. You don't need to live like you're broke. You simply need to stop confusing expensive things with financial success. Buy what matters. Enjoy your money. Take care of yourself. But don't sacrifice your future just to impress people who aren't paying your bills. Because at the end of the day, the person who looks rich isn't necessarily winning. The person with the newest car isn't necessarily winning. The person wearing the most expensive watch isn't necessarily winning. The real winner is the person who has built enough wealth that they don't need to prove anything. So if you're currently driving an older car, that's okay. If your clothes aren't designer, that's okay. If you don't have the newest phone, that's okay. If nobody knows how much you're investing, even better. Keep building. Keep investing. Keep your lifestyle under control. And let time do the heavy lifting. Because one day, the money you quietly saved, the investments you consistently made, and the purchases you decided not to make, may become the reason your future self has something much more valuable than a luxury lifestyle. Freedom. And that's the real meaning of choosing wealth over looking rich. Don't spend your future trying to impress people today. Build a future that impresses you. And remember, looking rich is temporary. Building wealth can change your entire life. If this video changed the way you think about money, subscribe to *bin invest **. Because we're not here to teach you how to look rich. We're here to help you understand how to build real wealth. Please subscribe now.